All right, so everyone wants the real deal on Man U, right?
Absolute.
What's really going on?
Yeah,
Get ready because things are about to get interesting.
they really are.
Okay, so new manager, Ruben Amorim,
Yep.
got the fans singing his name already,
It's incredible.
but he's also saying there's going to be
Oh, yeah.
some suffering involved.
Been very upfront about that.
You've got the excitement from the fans.
Yeah. Totally different vibe around the club now.
And then you've got Amorim over here
Yeah.
preaching patience.
Like long-term vision, you know?
So we've got match analysis,
Yeah.
expert opinions.
Like Chris Sutton, right?
Yes, even Amorim's own words.
Straight from the horse's mouth.
So let's dive in and try to figure this out.
It's a fascinating situation for sure.
You know, the thing that really gets me is this gap
Oh, yeah.
between what the fans are expecting
Yeah.
and the reality Amorim is laying out.
Makes you wonder, right?
It makes you wonder if they're ready for what he has in store.
They might be in for a shock.
And speaking of reality checks,
Oh,
Amorim isn't sugarcoating anything.
no, he is not.
He is flat out saying there will be suffering.
Doesn't sound like your typical pep talk, does it?
No, not at all.
That's
So
not-
what's the deal with that?
Well, remember, Man U's in both the Champions League and the FA Cup this year, right?
Oh, right.
So that December stretch, it's going to be brutal.
Lots of matches.
Tons of matches in such a short amount of time.
Yeah, and Chris Sutton,
Oh, yeah. Great point.
he's pretty skeptical.
Former player, now a commentator.
Right, and I kind of agree with him.
Yeah.
You can't just flip a switch and fix everything overnight.
Especially not with that kind of insane schedule.
So fans basically need to chill out
Take a deep breath.
and accept that this
Yeah.
isn't a quick fix.
Definitely not a quick fix.
Amorim is in it for the long haul.
That's the key takeaway here.
Right, so he's trying to rebuild the team from the ground up.
Exactly.
And that takes time, and this is where his tactics come in.
Oh, yeah, the tactics. Let's get into that.
His signature 3-4-3 formation.
The one he's known for.
He brought it over to Old Trafford.
Makes sense.
But as you'd expect,
of course.
there are some interesting twists.
Oh, I bet. Tell me more.
Like Mazraoui
Yeah.
playing his fourth different position this season.
Wow.
Is Amorim just throwing things at the wall to see what sticks?
It might seem that way from the outside,
Right.
but there's definitely a method to his madness.
Okay, I like that.
Like take Ahmad, for example.
Okay,
He's usually a winger,
right.
but Amorim's playing him as a wingback.
Interesting.
And get this,
What?
in just 3 days
3 days.
of training,
Wow.
Amorim has significantly improved Ahmad's defensive game.
Whoa, that's incredible.
That's serious coaching right there.
It really is a coaching flex.
It is.
But with that insane schedule,
Yeah, that's the problem.
isn't that working against him?
It is for sure.
It seems like there's barely any time to train.
You're right, it's a huge issue.
It is.
And Amorim himself has even admitted it.
Really?
He said the lack of training time
Yeah.
is a major obstacle.
Wow.
It's so bad that he's having players train the day after a match
The day after a match.
just to catch up.
Oh, wow. That's unheard of.
It is. I've never heard of that.
It just highlights how desperate he is.
To get his ideas across.
Yeah, to instill a style in the team.
So even though he's pulling off these mini miracles,
Like with Ahmad.
yeah, it sounds like he's fighting an uphill battle.
Definitely an uphill battle.
Oh, man. And to add to that,
I know, right?
there are no midweek breaks until late December.
Nope, none at all.
So we're looking at a grueling few months.
A grueling few months for Man U.
Yeah, and all that pressure
Yeah.
can definitely impact
It will.
how quickly Amorim can implement his changes.
It's trying to rebuild a car while it's still running.
Okay, so we've got a packed schedule,
Yeah.
limited training time.
Huge obstacles.
Not exactly the ideal start.
Not ideal at all. But there've got to be some bright spots, right?
There are some positives.
Surely things are looking at least a little different on the pitch.
You're right. Things are definitely different on the pitch. You're right, there are some positives.
Oh, good. I was hoping you'd say that.
You know, remember Amorim's first match against Ipswich?
Oh, yeah.
Did you catch how different the team looked?
Yeah, I did.
Even with, like, the limited training?
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was striking.
The visuals were totally...
Yeah, like night and day.
There was so much more balance, you know?
Yeah.
The passing had a purpose, and the players just looked so much more confident.
Yeah, they really did.
It felt like a whole new team.
That confidence is huge.
It is.
It suggests that Amorim's methods
Yeah.
are already having a positive impact on the players.
Yeah, I think so, too.
Psychologically, even.
Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty of the tactics.
I love it.
The expert analysis
Yeah.
highlighted how Garnacho and Fernandez's positioning really opened up space for the wingbacks.
Yes, exactly.
But they were also able to attack directly.
True.
It's like they were pulling double duty.
Pulls double duty. Exactly.
I love that.
It's such a clever system
It is.
because it creates multiple threats.
So the other team can't just focus on shutting down one area?
Right. They can't just focus on shutting down the wings.
Right.
They also have to worry about those central players.
Yeah.
Cutting through.
And the Ipswich match was a perfect example of that.
Great example.
Remember how dynamic and dangerous the first half was?
Oh, it was beautiful football to watch.
It was. So fluid.
But then things sort of fizzled out in the second half.
They did, yeah. What happened there?
Yeah, what happened there?
Well, Ipswich adjusted their game plan.
They did.
They dropped back and clogged up those spaces that Man U was exploiting.
It makes you wonder.
It does.
Can they adapt when a team throws a wrench in their plans?
That's the question, isn't it?
And we're seeing some promising stuff. Yeah, but also some potential weaknesses.
Of course, it's early days.
It's early days.
And the big question on everyone's mind is...
That's that.
Can this 3-4-3 formation
Yeah.
really work?
In the Premier League.
In the Premier League, exactly.
I mean, it looks great on paper.
On paper, it's beautiful.
Right. But the Premier
The Premier League is a different beast.
Totally different.
Yeah. Much faster pace.
Yeah.
More physical.
So much more physical.
Yeah. So it really puts a lot of pressure on the midfielder.
The midfielders, yeah.
Like, think of it this way.
Okay.
They're playing two positions at once.
Oh, wow.
They have to be tough defensively.
Okay.
And be able to launch attacks.
So both sides?
Both sides? It's a lot to ask.
That is a lot.
And then you've got the vulnerability to overloads out wide.
Overload.
Especially against teams with fast wingers.
Okay, hold on. Break that down for me.
Okay, sure.
What does overloads mean?
Okay, imagine Man U's wingbacks.
Pushing forward to attack.
Right.
And the other team
Yeah.
sends 2 or 3 players down that same side.
Okay.
So suddenly Man U is outnumbered.
They're outnumbered.
And vulnerable.
Oh, I see.
That's what we mean by overloads.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
So even if Amorim gets all the training time in the world,
right,
there could still be limitations.
There could be.
With the 3-4-3 itself.
It's not a magic bullet.
It's not a magic bullet.
You're absolutely right.
And you know, this is where it gets really interesting.
Oh, tell me more.
So one possible solution that was mentioned was bringing in Manuel Ugarte.
Ugarte, interesting.
For the midfield.
Yes.
Remember that tackle he made against Fenerbahce?
Oh, yeah.
Where he seemingly came out of nowhere?
Like a phantom?
That's the kind of defensive instinct Amorim wants in midfield.
He's a beast.
Ugarte has thrived under Amorim before.
He has. They have a history.
And could be the key.
The missing piece of the puzzle.
Now, that is what I call a transfer target.
I like it.
And it makes you wonder.
It does.
Who else Amorim has his eye on?
Right. Who's next?
So the question becomes...
It's a big question.
Who would partner with him in the midfield?
Right, because he can't do it all himself.
He can't.
That's the missing piece of the puzzle.
And it might require some clever transfers.
Yes, some maneuvering, for sure.
To find the right fit.
Right, because Amorim is looking for specific qualities.
Like what?
Athleticism.
Okay.
Defensive awareness. And the ability to cover a lot of ground.
Makes sense.
Not every midfielder
Not everyone
can handle those demands.
This is where that long-term vision we talked about comes in.
Long game.
Building a team perfectly suited for Amorim's system.
It takes time.
It won't happen overnight.
You got it.
It's going to take time and some smart moves in the transfer market.
That's for sure.
And let's not forget about the fans.
Oh, the fans.
Remember Amorim warned them about suffering?
Yeah, he did.
How much patience will they have?
How much suffering are they willing to endure?
Right, as this rebuild unfolds.
That's a great point.
Think about it.
Yeah.
You're a fan who's used to a certain style for years.
Years and years.
Right? Are you ready for this suffering?
Yeah, are you ready for the long haul?
That Amorim's talking about.
It's a good question.
And it's not just about tactics and formations. It's about managing those expectations.
Totally.
And keeping the faith.
You got to keep the faith.
Even when things get tough, it's about the human element of football.
Yeah, I love that.
The passion and the dedication of the fans.
The human side of the beautiful game.
You know, it feels like we're watching the first chapter of something huge.
Absolutely.
But with so many moving parts.
So many.
It's impossible to say how it'll all play out.
Yeah, who knows?
What do you think?
I think it's going to be fascinating.
Could this be the start of something special?
At Old Trafford?
Yeah.
I think it could be.
It really could.
That's what makes it so compelling to watch.
It does.
It's like this puzzle, and we're trying to fit all the pieces together.
All these different pieces.
The tactical evolution of the team,
Yeah.
new signings,
Right.
the fans' emotional investment.
It's a roller coaster.
It's going to be fascinating to see how these different aspects interact.
And influence the outcome.
Exactly.
So to wrap up this deep dive,
Okay.
what are the big takeaways?
Big takeaways.
You want to leave our listener with?
Okay, well, first and foremost,
Yeah.
the Man U rebuild
Uh-huh.
is a marathon, not a sprint.
Not a sprint.
Amorim is setting the stage for a long-term project,
Right.
and that means accepting
Accepting all the
that there might be some bumps along the road.
bumps in the road.
He's been upfront about the suffering,
Oh, yeah. Suffering.
the potential for suffering along the way.
Right. And second,
A second.
that 3-4-3 formation,
Oh, yeah.
it's not just a tactical choice.
It's more than that.
It's a whole
A
philosophy
philosophy,
that demands a certain type of player
certain type of player. Absolutely.
and a serious level of commitment.
You got it.
And third,
Third.
that packed schedule.
Oh, man, don't even get me started.
And the lack of training time.
Huge obstacles.
Those are huge obstacles.
It's almost like Amorim is trying to build a house of cards in a windstorm.
Wow. Yeah, that's a good analogy.
Can he really instill his style in this environment?
In this chaos.
That's the big question.
And lastly,
Lastly,
those potential transfers,
the transfer.
especially the one with Ugarte,
Ugarte, yeah.
show that this rebuild is still in its early stages.
Early stage.
This isn't a finished product by any means.
We're not even close
We're likely to see a lot of changes
to the squad.
to the squad over the next few months.
It's going to be a busy transfer window.
It is.
It all adds up to a really fascinating period for Man U.
It does.
Only time will tell.
Only time will tell.
If Amorim can pull it off.
And transform the team.
Yeah. Will he be the savior?
But one thing's for sure.
What's that?
It's going to be a captivating journey to follow.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So there you have it.
That's all she wrote.
You've got the inside scoop on Man U's long road back.
The long and winding road.
Keep an eye on those upcoming matches.
Yeah, don't miss it.
Because this story is just getting started.
It's just the beginning.
Will Amorim get the time he needs?
That's a big question.
Will the fans weather the suffering?
How much can they take?
Could this be the start of a dynasty?
A dynasty.
Only one way to find out.
Tune in next time.
Stay tuned.